Welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to study cell structure and their organization. So let's begin. So as we all know, cell is the fundamental unit of life. It is a self-replicating structure, which means this is a cell which will divide and give rise to another cell, and then this will again divide and give rise to another cell, and the process goes on. The first cell was observed and named by Robert Hooke in 1665 from a slice of cork that is nothing but a branch of a tree. Some cells consist of unicellular organism and others are multicellular. Unicellular means they have only one cell, and multicellular which means they have many cells. And the diameter of one cell is 2 to 20 nanometers. Now, let's see something which is known as cell theory, which was proposed by Mathis Slender and Theodore Swan in 1839. So, according to this theory, it states that all living things are made up of cells. Cells are the smallest working unit of all living thing. All cells comes from pre-existing cell through cell division. Okay, so this theory, along with this both, Virchow was also included in this cell theory. Now there are two types of cells. One is eukaryotic and second one is prokaryotic. So according to the definition, eukaryotics are any cell that contains clearly defined nucleus and membrane bonded organelles. As you can see over here, this is eukaryotic, which has a nucleus and also a properly bonded cell membrane and organelles in them. And what are prokaryotes? Any unicellular organism, that means only one cell, that does not contain a membrane bonded nucleus or organelles. So this is haphazardly attached with a nucleus where there is no membrane around the nucleus and there is no membrane around the organelles also. Now the examples are animals, plant, fungi and protists cells, and over here the example is bacteria and arachnia. Nucleus present, which is membrane bonded, and nucleus is absent, only there is nucleoid region, as you can see over here. Cell size is from 10 to 100 micrometers, and the cell size is small, it is less than 5 micrometers. DNA replication highly regulated with selective origins and sequence replication entire genome at once. So here there is systematically the nuclear DNA replication takes place. Organization type usually multicellular, they are unicellular. Chromosomes more than one long single loop of DNA and plastid. There is only one and here more than one single loop. Then ribosomes are large, here there are smalls. Growth rate is lower over here but it is faster in prokaryotes. Organelles are present, here they are absent. Organelles are nothing but like mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, etc. Comes under organelles. Ability to store hereditary information. So all eukaryotes have that this ability. All prokaryotes have this ability. Both of them have the ability to store hereditary information. Cell wall simple. It is present in plants and fungi, and it is a complex cell wall which is present in all prokaryotes. As you can see over here, this is the cell wall. Plasma membrane present, and over here also it is present. Cytoplasm is present in both of them. Now let's see the constituent of cell. So different substances that make cells are collectively known as protoplasm. So what are protoplasm? Protoplasms are nothing but cytoplasm plus nucleus which is present in the cell forms the protoplasm. Now what protoplasm contains? It contains 70 to 80% of water, carbohydrates, lipids and proteins, and also electrolytes are present in them. Now let's see subcellular structure. So the major structure present in cells are cell wall, as you can see over here, which is made up of cellulose. Then comes the cell membrane. This is the cell membrane. Then comes the cytoplasm and its organelles. So cytoplasm and its organelles like Golgi complex, ribosomes, endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, vacuoles, chloroplasts, etc. And then comes the nucleus. Now this forms the nucleus which is membrane bonded. and that's a nucleus membrane which is present over it. Now, moving on to the second part, which is cell membrane. So, it forms the outermost thin structure which envelops the cell. So, as we know, animal does not contain cell wall. So, the outermost structure is cell membrane in animals. So, it is consists of bilipid layer. As you can see over here, this is the first lipid layer and second lipid layer. Embedded proteins in them. So, there is integral protein and peripheral protein which are present in between this bilipid layer. So let's see the functions of cell membrane. So first is protective, second is digestive, it takes in food and excretes waste product. Third is selectively permeability, that means it allows entry of only selected molecules only. So first is a non-polar molecule. So gases like oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, lipids, that means the fats, steroid hormones, alcohol can dissolve in non-polar region of the membrane and move rapidly across the membrane. Second comes the polar molecules in which the water soluble ions, glucose, urea, etc. have much lower solubility, therefore penetrate the membrane much slower. Chemical and physical properties of membrane control the free passage of ions in and out the cell. This property helps in maintaining the components of the intracellular fluid and extracellular fluid. Intracellular fluid means the fluid which is present inside the cell, and extracellular which means present outside the cells. So the equilibrium is maintained between the both. Links adjacent cells together by junctional complex to form the tissue. Insulating properties, so it acts as a dielectrical material of the charge condenser. The cell membranes have very high insulating values. Now let's see cytoplasm and its organelles. Now let's study about cytoplasm. So it is a thick gel-like semi-transparent fluid that is found both in plants and animal cell. So this is the cytoplasm. So it constitutes of cytosol, cell organelles and cytoplasmic inclusions bonded by a plasma membrane and contain many organelles in the eukaryotic cell containing membrane bonded nucleus. So eukaryotic cells are nothing but membrane bonded nucleus. So now let's study about cytosol, the first component in cytoplasm. So it is nothing but an aqueous part of the cytoplasm present outside all the organelles. So as you can see over here, this is the cytosol. So it contains its own proteins. It forms 70% of total cell wall. The gelatinous substance contains filament, organic molecules, salt and water. Chemically, the cytoplasmic matrix is composed of many chemical elements in the form of atoms, ions and molecules. So basically it is a chemical compound. Now, moving on to the second part of the cytoplasm, that is organelles. So, can be mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, lysosomes, Golgi apparatus, pereoxysomes, vacuoles, etc. So, each organelle is bonded by a lipid membrane. So, they are covered by a lipid membrane outside and has a special function. Now let's study about mitochondria. So as we all know, it is the powerhouse of the cell. So let's see the structure. So the length is 5 to 12 nanometer and diameter is 0.5 to 1 nanometer. It is filamentous or globular in structure, as you can see over here. So the components, it has an outer membrane and an inner membrane. The space between the outer membrane and the inner membrane is known as intermediate space. It has cristia, that means the inner membrane are thrown into folds which are known as cristia, and inside the membrane there is matrix which is present. Now these membranes are formed of phospholipids and proteins. Now let's study in detail about the outermost membrane. So it contains large number of integral proteins which are known as porine, as you can see over here. So this porines forms the channel which allow only molecules of 5000 delta or less than it to pass through in. It also contains proteins or enzymes which help in biological oxidations. Now let's see the interior, which is the matrix of the mitochondria, contains an enzymes which are concerned with citric acid cycle and respiratory chain oxidation, that means the Krebs cycle, and which leads to production of ATPs. The major metabolic pathway involved in oxidation of carbohydrates, lipids, amino acid, and the part of special biosynthetic pathway including urea and heme synthesis occurs in inner matrix. So in inner matrix there are many processes which takes place. Now let's study something which is known as endoplasmic reticulum. So it is a network of tubular and flat vascular structure in the cytoplasm. So as you can see over here, these are the tubular and flat vesicular structure which is present. So the excessive network of closed flattened membrane bonded sac are known as cristina. So these are the cristina, as you can see over here. And the space in between them is filled with endoplasmic matrix. Now what are its functions? So it synthesis protein, then there is protein segregations, then there is unsaturated fatty acid formation, also the muscle contraction. It takes helps in muscle contraction. So reticular endoplasm is commonly known as sarcoplasmic reticulum if they are present in muscle fibers. Now there are two types of endoplasmic reticulum. First one is smooth endoplasmic and second is rough endoplasmic reticulum. So in smooth endoplasmic reticulum, the ribosomes are absent. So this round dots which you see over here are nothing but ribosomes. So they are absent. So there is smooth endoplasmic reticulum, and if they are present, it is called as rough endoplasmic reticulum. So they are the site of synthesis for lipids and steroid hormones, and rough is the site for protein synthesis, processing and packing. Mainly present in lipid forming cells such as adipocytes, that means the fat cells, interstitial cells of testes, glycogen storing cells of liver, adrenal cortex, muscle cells and leukocytes, that means nothing but WBCs. And they are mainly present in protein forming cells such as pancreatic acinar cells, goblet cells, antibody producing plasma cells, Nischel's granules of nerve cells, etc. Now, the small structure which we saw on endoplasmic reticulums are nothing but ribosome. So let's see what are ribosomes. So they are small non-membrane bonded organelles. That means they do not have the membrane. Contain two subunits, as you can see over here. This is the large subunit and this is the small subunits. They are the site of photosynthesis, protein factory of the cells. They are also known as protein factory of the cells. They are either free floating or attached to endoplasmic reticulum. So prokaryotic ribosomes are smaller and less dense than eukaryotic ribosomes. Ribosomes composed of two subunits, each of which, now these subunits are made up of, each is made up of protein and type of RNA which is called as ribosomal RNA. Now, moving on to the Golgi body. So, Golgi body is a collection of membrane enclosed sac. As you can see, it's enclosed sac composed of four or more stalk layered. So, these are the layers 1, 2, 3, 4, more than the four. which are thin, flat, encloses vessels lying near the side of the nucleus. So inside this there are vessels which are present. So it consists of discrete compartments. There are four main regions. So first is the cystic Golgi network, as you can see over here. Now they form into a Golgi stalk which are divided into middle cystine, and the second is transcystines, and the last one which forms is the trans-Golgi network, as you can see over here. So what are the functions? So the functions are wrapping and packing the department of the cells, produces secretion granules, that is membrane enclosed complex which stores hormones and enzymes in the protein secretory cell. It packs proteins. Site of formation of lysosome, that is large irregular structure surrounded by membrane which are present in the cytoplasm. It adds certain carbohydrates to glycoprotein which plays an important role in association of cells to form tissues. Lysosomes, so the diameter is 250 to 750 nanometers. So they are irregular structures surrounded by a unit protein. So these are the lysosomes, as you can see over here in this zoomed form. More acidic than rest of the cytoplasm, and extra bacterial as well as worn out cell components are digested in them. So they digest the bacteria and also the components which are worn out. That means the old cell components are also digested by the lysosome, hence they are acidic. The interior is kept acidic by actions of proton pump or ATPase. Now the lysosomes are cell hydrolase and they function best at the acidic level. So the main function is to hydrolyze or to break down the cells, and they are best function at acidic pH. So now let's see the function. So X as a form of digestive, that is lytic system or the cell, because enzyme present in it can digest essentially all macromolecules. Engulf worn-out component of the cell in which they are located, engulf exogenous substances like bacteria and degrade them. When the cell dies, lysosome enzyme causes autolysis of the remnant. That's why lysosomes are called as suicidal bags. Now, what is vacuole? So vacuoles are the membrane bonded enclosed component. So these are the vacuoles which you can see, which are rich in different types of organic and inorganic molecules, including enzymes and pigments and other metabolic products. So they contains organic and inorganic molecules, enzymes, pigments and other metabolic compounds. So where it is present, molecules are present in large significant in plant cells, fungal cells and proteoses, and even animal cell contained vesicles which are small, numerous and functional less significant than plant cell vacuoles. So now let's see the functions. So the functions, they have plants have large vacuoles occupying the central position of the cells. The provide structural support, disposal of waste products, storage of pigments and nutrients, and helps in growth. Animal cell contain numerous small vacuoles that function in storage and transport. So for plants, they are mostly for structural support and disposal of waste products, storage of pigments and nutrients, and helps in growth. Whenever the nutrient is required, they will provide. And in animals, they are stored. They are helps in storage and transport. Now, plastids are the site of manufacture and storage of important chemical compounds used by the cells of autotrophic eukaryotes. That means the organism which produces their own food, that are nothing but plants. They often contain pigments used in photosynthesis, and the type of pigment in the plastid determines the cell color. Okay, so there are three types of plastids. First is chloroplast, chromoplast and leucoplast. These lipid plastids are only present in plant cells. They are not found in fungal or animal cells. Now let's see the structure of plastids. So there is an outer membrane, inner membrane. The space between the both is known as intermembrane space. Now the intermembrane contains sac-like structure which are known as thalcoids. Now this thalcoids form a group of thalcoids are now known as granum. The granums are interconnected to each other by the lamina, and inside the thalcoid there is lumen which is present, which contains pigments. So what are the functions? So the storage of starch, pigment and other cellular compounds, products, chief power factory of plant in food synthesis. So food is synthesized in plastids. Now let's study the type of plastids. So first is leucoplast. Leuco means white, so they are colorless, which are found in embryonic and germ cells. That means in the seeds found in those region of the plants which do not receive light, that is beneath the ground. Roots are present, so leucoplasts are present in roots. They store carbohydrates, lipids and protein, and accordingly they are classified as amyloplast, epioplast and proteinoplast. Now moving on to the chromoplast. So they are the colored plastids containing carotenoids and other pigments. They impact color, which is yellow, orange and red, to certain portion of plants such as flowers, roots, roots also, which includes carrots and fruits like tomatoes. So there are two types, phleroplast and rhodoplast. Now moving on to the third type, which is chloroplast. Chloro means green. So occurs mostly in the green algae and plants and contain pigments like chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B and DNA and RNA. Now let's study about cytoskeleton. So the system of fibers that not only maintain the structure of the cell but also permit it to change the shape and move. The cytoskeletons are made up of microtubules, intermediate filaments and microfilaments, along with the protein that tie them together. So what are the functions? So movement of the chromosome, cell movement, processes the more aggregated secretion granules in the cells, movement of proteins within the cell membrane. Moving on to the important component of cell, that is nucleus. So the nucleus contains chromatin, RNA and nuclear protein move freely in the aqueous solutions. Nucleus has internal structure that organizes the genetic material and localizes the nuclear function. So it contains genetic material inside it. The loosely organized matrix of nuclear lamina extend from the nucleus lamina into the interior of the nucleus. So as you can see over here, these are the nucleus lamina from which the chromatin extends and move inward inside the nucleus. This lamina serves as a site of chromatin attachment. So the chromatin are attached over here, as you can see over here. These are the chromatin which are attached over here. Organizes other protein into function nuclear bodies. Chromatin within the nucleus is organized into large loops of DNA, and a specific region of these loops are bonded to the lamina matrix by lamina binding protein in the chromatin. Now let's see about nuclear envelope. So the complex structure, it's a complex structure which consists of two nuclear membrane underlining nuclear lamina and a nuclear pore complex. So these are the pore complex, nuclear lamina, and there are two nuclear membrane, that is outer membrane and the inner membrane. The two concentric membranes, the inner and outer membranes. The outer membrane is continuous with the endoplasmic reticulum. Space between the inner and the outer membrane is directly connected with the lumen of the endoplasmic reticulum. The nuclear membrane is permeable only to small non-polar molecules. That means only oxygen, carbon dioxide and some hormones can enter into the nuclear membrane. Underlining the nuclear membrane is a nuclear lamina, a fibrous meshwork that provides structural support to the nucleus. Now, what are the functions of nucleus? So it controls the hereditary characteristics of the organism. It maintains cellular metabolism through controlling the synthesis of particular enzymes. It is responsible for protein synthesis, cell division, growth and differentiation. Stores hereditary material in the form of DNA strands. Now let's do a recap of what we did. So we did plasma membrane, which helps in transport of ions and molecules. Cystole, which helps in metabolism of carbohydrate, lipids and proteins, that is amino acids. Mitochondria, which is an energy production. Endoplasmic reticulum helps in synthesis of protein and lipids. Golgi apparatus, which helps in modification and sorting of proteins. Lysosome, which helps in cellular digestions. Peroxisomes, which is utilization of H2O2. Cytoskeleton, which helps in cell morphology and cell mobility, and nucleus, which helps in DNA synthesis and repair. Thank you. Hope you like this video. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and share your views in the comment section below. Till then, bye.